What if I told you, two little girls, born into unimaginable wealth, never saw the light of day? What if their lives, hidden behind mansion walls, were ruled not by joy, but by silence, loneliness, and fear? And what if the only person brave enough to break that silence was not a doctor, not a teacher, not even their billionaire father, but a broken single dad, a veteran carrying scars of war? This is not just a story of pain, it's a story of healing, of miracles, and of how love can grow in the darkest corners of the world. Stay with me till the end, because the miracle that unfolded will leave you speechless. Behind the steel gates of the Langford estate, the world believed everything was perfect. Billionaire Richard Langford, known for his ruthless business empire, had it all: private jets, global companies, and unimaginable fortune. Yet within the towering walls of his mansion, two little girls, identical twin daughters, Emily and Ilara, lived in silence. The twins were frail, pale, and unseen by the world. Rumors whispered that they were sickly, incapable of facing sunlight. But the truth was worse: their father had locked them away, ashamed of their blindness. Born with a condition that left them unable to see, the girls were considered Richard's hidden shame. Their mother had died shortly after childbirth, and Richard, unable to cope, buried himself in money while his daughters grew up in isolation. The girls had never attended school, never laughed in a park, never touched the grass with their bare feet. They lived in carefully guarded rooms, their world no bigger than the walls around them. Servants fed them, nannies changed them, but no one dared to love them. They were alive, but not truly living. And then came Michael Hayes. Michael was a single father, a war veteran, and a man haunted by his past. He had fought in battles that left scars deeper than skin. His wife had left years ago, unable to live with his nightmares, leaving him to raise his young son, Daniel, alone. Despite the weight of trauma, Michael fought to provide stability. He took odd jobs, construction, security, whatever came his way. One day, fate led him to the Langford estate. Richard Langford had hired him as a temporary security consultant, a role far beneath Michael's capabilities, but he needed the money. The pay was high, but the silence of the mansion was heavy, unsettling. And that's when he heard it, the faint sound of a child's laughter, muffled, cut off, almost as though the world wasn't meant to hear it. Driven by instinct, Michael followed the sound. Behind a locked corridor, he found the forbidden wing of the mansion. And there, through a slightly open door, he saw them, two girls, twins, sitting together on the floor, whispering in soft voices only they could understand. They weren't playing with toys. They weren't smiling. They were simply waiting. Something in Michael's chest tightened. He had seen suffering in war, but this, two innocent children live. Michael began to spend more time near the forbidden wing. Slowly, carefully, he found ways to interact with the twins. At first, they were shy, recoiling at the sound of a stranger's voice. They had been taught never to trust, never to speak. But Michael's voice, deep, gentle, steady, did something no one else had ever done: it made them feel safe. "Hello, little ones," he whispered one day, his voice breaking the silence. "My name is Michael. I won't hurt you." Emily tilted her head, listening. Ilara clutched her sister's hand tightly. Then, softly, Emily asked, "Are you real?" That question nearly broke him. "Yes," Michael said, swallowing the lump in his throat. "I'm real. And so are you. And you deserve to live." Days turned into weeks. He taught them things no one had bothered to teach: how to tell the difference between textures, how to identify sounds, how to imagine colors through stories. He told them about the sun, describing its warmth. He placed flowers in their hands so they could feel beauty. He taught them how to laugh, really laugh. His son, Daniel, eventually met the twins. For the first time, Emily and Ilara had a friend. The children's laughter filled the cold halls of the mansion, bringing life to a place long dead. But Richard Langford was not blind to this change. One evening, he confronted Michael. "They are my daughters," Richard said coldly. "You are overstepping. Stay away from them." Michael's voice shook, but not from fear. "No, Mr. Langford. They are not just your daughters, they are human beings. And for the first time in their lives, they are living. If you take that from them, you are not a father. You're their jailer." The billionaire froze. No one had ever spoken to him like that. For the first time, he felt the weight of his guilt. Over time, Richard began to watch from a distance. He saw his daughters smiling, really smiling, for the first time. He saw Michael kneeling to tie Emily's shoes, guiding Ilara's hands to play the piano. He saw the miracle he had denied his children. And slowly, something broke inside Richard. His heart. He began to join them. Hesitantly at first, watching, listening. But eventually, he sat with his daughters, holding their tiny hands. The men who once saw their blindness as a curse began to see it as their strength. He realized that wealth couldn't buy love, but love could heal everything wealth had destroyed. By the end, Michael had not only saved 2 little girls, he had saved a father too. And when Richard offered him riches in gratitude, Michael refused. "I don't need money," Michael said softly. "I just wanted them to know the world is bigger than these walls." The twins, once lost in darkness, had found their miracle, not in doctors or riches, but in the love of a single dad who had already known what it meant to fight for life. And the mansion, once silent,